Hello, 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 my beautiful people. Welcome to another video. King Draco here, back with another one. So we're gonna be reacting to a video by Medium Man. We're gonna be reacting to his video. Obviously, there was the passing of Charlie Kirk recently, and like I said, there was a lot of things that I did agree with him, but there were a few points that I did disagree with him on, and that was definitely about the Black community. And I obviously would never get a chance to debate Charlie Kirk. I really don't even like debating, but it was just one of those things I definitely disagreed with. The rhetoric about 50% of certain crimes, it was being committed by the 13% of the Black population. So I wanted to react to that. He made a video about it today. It's called Black Men Commit 50% of Deletions, which is the M word. I guess I got to get used to not saying that too. I'm learning this, this is my YouTube journey, so I'm learning things, what not to say. So just picked up on that. You can't really say that word, I guess, if you want to stay monetized or whatever the case may be. But I think this is a really good video to react to because he breaks it down in the way I wouldn't be able to break it down. Honestly, I seen this on, doing my own research. And, this is why I disagreed with Charlie Kirk, Nick Fuentes, the Myrons of the world, right? Like, I disagree with these guys. They'll pretty much say that these guys, Black people are committing most of the deletions in the United States, which is just not true if you really break down the statistics. You really have to break it down because it's way more profound than what they're giving you, right? But there's no disrespect to them. And also, it's an open conversation. Let me know what you think. What are your thoughts? Leave it down in the comment down below. But let's break down this video together. Well, allow Medium Man to break this down for us, right? So let's get into the video. Let's go ahead and get started.
That is misleading, the real truth, closing message, how to read these statistics, and also I'm gonna give you the references. One deletion is too many. Every life lost is a tragedy, and nothing in this breakdown is meant to minimize the seriousness of violence. This analysis is about exposing misuse statistics, not dismissing human loss. So I wanted to make that very clear out of respect for those people who lost their lives. Now, the myth, the claim.
And just real quick, really appreciate Media Man for making that disclaimer there, because that's really important to everybody that lost their lives out there. We're not trying to minimize that at all. Just really want to get down to the nitty gritty about it. This rhetoric of 50% of, Black men out there, of 13% of the population is committing 50% of the deletions that are out there, right? So disclaimer, love that.
Black men are 13% of the US population, but commit 50% of deletions. This stat is used to smear Black men and create fear, but the reality is far more complicated. And first of all, that 13% is actually false. We actually only represent like 7.5% of the US population because they included all Black people. We represent about 14.5% of the population, but we know Black girls and Black women outnumber Black boys and Black men. So where the stat comes
that's a good note too.
From the 50% figure comes from FBI arrest data, not total deletions. That is a key point. Arrest data, not total deletions. Only cases where the offender's race was known. And most people do not cite this when they're talking about the statistic. 40 to 50% of deletions go unsolved every year. So it is arrest versus convictions. 40 to 50% of those deletions go unsolved. This is the most recent report that everybody is using. It's actually not the most recent. I'm going to show you guys. But yeah, 2019 is what everybody uses. And yes, I did my research. I went to Reddit. I don't have an X account, but I downloaded one so I could see all of the information that was coming from mostly white people. And those Reddit threads are absolutely nuts. I had to clear my cache on my phone because there was so much racist stuff on there. It was absolutely crazy. But this is actually the 2024 report. I don't think most people have this because they always cite the 2019 report, but we do have the information for 2024. I will link it in the description once I get done with this live stream so you guys have the most current information. But I'm using the 2019 report because that seems to be the most popular one in these spaces. So this is a 2024 report. It mirrors pretty much the same thing from 2019, just the numbers different, okay? So the clearance rates, about half of all deletions go unsolved. Solved cases are more likely in disadvantaged urban areas. So they tend to solve the cases that's where predominantly Black folks live. However, white people, unsolved cases are common in suburban and rural white areas. Opioids, domestic violence, etc. They tend to solve the deletions in urban areas, but for some odd reason, in suburban and rural white areas, they just don't know who did it. This skews the data and inflates Black arrest share. Intraracial reality. Most deletions are intraracial. 80% of white victims are deleted by white offenders. 90% of Black victims are deleted by Black offenders. The 50% claim ignores that deletions overwhelmingly occur within the same race. I heard something crazy. I forgot.
And that's what I've always believed. I've always believed that. I never think that like, oh, Black people are overwhelmingly just committing murders all across the board against everybody. Like I've never believed something like that because I feel like there's times where a white person can do something wrong and Black people just let them slide about it. When you in a Black community, you raised up in the ghetto, dealing with other folk, bro, you have to worry about a person that look just like you. And I think Nipsey Hussle said it best, like you go into another hood and you really looking for yourself. You looking for a person that walk like you, talk like you, dress like you, wear the same thing just as you, wear the same jewelry, everything. Only thing that's different about him, he rock different colors. He rock different colors. You looking for yourself. That's what you typically have to worry about. Boosie back in the day, I remember there was something he said in the interview where I ain't got to really worry about the white man like that. It's usually a nigga in the bushes that's got that chopper out for me. You know? Yeah, I've always believed that. So I just didn't understand, like when the boy Austin Metcalf, he passed away and you had these super right-wing conservative, super conservative guys coming out saying that Black men or Black people are overwhelmingly committing crimes against white people. And it's just not the case.
Which channel I was watching? It may have been on X. Black men delete more white people than white people delete white people. That clears that up right there. It's not true. Age concentration. And this is in response, and I'm going to show you guys here in a second. Deletions are concentrated in young men. 18 to 24 years, highest rates. 25 to 34 years, second highest. Together, 70% of offenders are under 35. So comparing 13% of population versus 50% of deletions is misleading because it ignores that only a subset, young men, are at highest risk. And this was in response to this comment. I usually like your work, but this video is deceptive. For example, of the 23 million Black men, how many are over 50 and under 15? It is much less than 23 million. No one is scared of an old Black man being violent, nor of a 10-year-old Black boy being violent. The violence comes from the smaller number of Black men. The Black men in this age group are the ones who are responsible for 42% of cop deleters. I don't know what he was talking about. So essentially, what he's saying is, I can't use the 23.2 million Black men and boys because it's a smaller percentage. But on every video, every comment, I've never heard anybody separate them. I've never heard they say black men commit 50% of the deletions. That's all I've heard. That's the first time, but I addressed it for his ass. I got you. Black male population, 18 to 34. Based on census counts, black men aged 18 to 34, 6.1 million. Total black men, 23.2 million. Of course, I did the side-by-side comparison. Hypothetical scenario. If black men committed all 19,800 deletions in the U.S. in a year, among all black men, that will be 0.09%. Among black men 18 to 34, that will be 0.32%. That means between 99.7 and 99.9% of black men did not commit a deletion. It's still less than 1%. And I've never heard anybody mention the fact that it's not all black men. They only say black men commit 50% of the years. All right? So 97 to 99% of y'all in the chat have not committed a deletion. Shocker, right? Be honest with me. Let me know so I can look at the video if you've ever heard people say, wait, hold on. Before we talk about the black male deletion rates, let's be clear. 99.7 to 99.9% don't commit deletions. So when we discuss this, we're only talking about a minuscule subset of black men. Nobody, ever. I've watched at least 10 to 12 videos and nobody ever made that point. Rate perspective. Equivalent rates, 325 per 100,000 black men, 18 to 34, if they committed all deletions, compared to the national deletion rate of 6 to 7 per 100,000 overall. Even under this false scenario, less than 1/3 of 1%, 0.32% of young black men. And that is from 18 to 34. So no matter how you spin it, you can remove some age groups, you can include some age groups. The majority of black men are not inherently violent. Why the stat is misleading? Uses arrests, not convictions. Arrests are not convictions. Ignores unsolved cases, which just so happen to be more solved in urban areas and not solved in suburban or those white areas. Over-policing inflates arrest data. And it's not to include that black men have the most exonerations. I think it's 55% of deletion rates, black men are exonerated, which leads the pack. And it hides intraracial patterns. I just addressed that. Treats all 13% of the population as if they are equally responsible, which is crazy.
It's so easy to become a podcaster with Riverside. You just need a concept and a way to record it. First, go to riverside.fm.
And then the real truth. Context matters. Most deletions happen within the same race. Only a tiny fraction of black men commit deletions. The 50% stat is a distorted talking point, not reality. It is propaganda. It is a white supremacist talking point. Don't fall for the weaponized stats. Again, one deletion is too many and every loss is a tragedy. But it's wrong to smear an entire community with misleading numbers. The truth, 99.7% between 99% of black men have never committed deletions. Black men deserve to be seen for who they are, not distorted statistics weaponized against them. Now I'm gonna give you guys a little education on how to read the stats. So it's important context, when reading crime data. Arrests are not convictions. Not all cases are solved. Again, 40 to 50% unsolved. Intraracial patterns dominate. Population subsets matter. 18 to 34 drives the most deletions. The takeaway, these stats require context. Without it, they can be weaponized into false narratives, which is what you see on social media. Could have summed this up in a paragraph, but I'm going to give it to you guys right here. Where the 50% figure originated. In 2019, the FBI reported about 16,245 homicide offenders nationwide. However, the offender's race was only known in 12,000 cases. Of those, 53.7% were recorded as black and 42% as white. This is where detractors claim black people commit 50% of the deletions. But the truth is a misrepresentation because it only reflects solved cases with race reported, not all deletions. Nearly half of cases go unsolved, and these numbers are based on arrests and reports, not convictions. The 50% figure is not representative of all deletions in the US, but rather a partial data set that inflates the share attributed to black men. Pretty much going over everything that I just mentioned. I just gave you guys a little table. And this is the summary of all the stuff that we went over. I will clip this up so you guys can have it for yourselves.
But yeah, man, that was just one of the things I definitely disagreed. It's rhetoric that was going around across the internet a lot on the super right conservative side. I saw it there, and some normal conservatives as well. I just feel like there's some people that's just ignorant, and then just some people really just skewing and manipulating people out there. But yeah, this is the reality of it. You can easily, and how I found out, because when I saw one of the videos, I was like, man, that shit can't be true. It's usually interracial, for one, where black people are killing one another, and two, bro, if 50% is committing deletions like that, then like that means somebody out of my friend group, like if I'm on a football team, at least 10 or 12 of them got to be a murderer. I mean, somebody that deleted somebody in once upon in their lifetime, right? Maybe I got the numbers out, but you get just what I'm saying. Like, it's just not the case. Most of us are not violent, very peaceful people. We go to work, we do our thing, we take care of our children. We want to do the best for what's best for us. Is there things that are messed up about the black community? Absolutely. But just like we got things messed up, so does the white people, so does people from the islands, so does people that are Latin, people that are European, wherever, right? Everybody got something messed up about them that they need to fix within their communities. So that's the gist of that video. Leave down a comment down below what you thought about it, what you think about the numbers, and do you feel like Media Man was spot on? I believe he was definitely spot on. Like I said, you can literally go on ChatGPT and Google, look at the sources he cite. I'm gonna leave the link down to the original video, and yeah, see for yourself. In the meantime, much love, peace, appreciate you watching.